And welcome to Blockbuster Bums. Kick back your recliner, crack open a beer, and let's talk movies. And today is the first episode of Band of Brothers.
And it,
Yes,
oh, didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to say, how fitting is it? It's on Veterans Day.
it is Veterans Day, actually. I didn't even think about that, Ray. Good way to go. Yes, Band of Brothers, our first episode. Throw a little curveball at you guys. It's our first real movie setting here. We're going with a miniseries, but a great miniseries at that. And some housekeeping we got to go over. Barry is not here today. He's just had a lot going on in his personal life and couldn't make it today. This is his first time missing a full episode, not just a B-side. So, but hopefully Barry will be back soon. And we have a new bum in the room, AJ.
Hello.
Welcome,
Good to
sir.
be here.
Yes. AJ, a war buff, fan of Band of Brothers. Asked
much
to
so.
asked to come on for some episodes, and maybe we'll get him for all 10. We'll see. And that being said, I think I'm out of housekeeping duties, so let's get started. Tom, what were your thoughts on your watch of episode 1?
I was super excited about it because I I remember this was like it came out when I was a kid, and I remember even like our history teacher like gave us extra credit if we do a paper on the episodes
Mhm.
as we go along. So it was cool to like did like everything withstand the test of time? How was the acting? And honestly, it was fun to see like those actors and everything there that you kind of forgot were even in the series. So yeah,
Oh, there's some big name actors that weren't big name at the time.
that's what I mean. But like it was so like from top to bottom and all that. I enjoyed the whole thing.
Absolutely. AJ, I know you've watched it in the past. What'd you think of your rewatch?
I was also very excited for it. I forgot that there's like no action at all in episode one, but it still like really holds your attention.
Mm-hmm.
The performances are all great. The writing's very this is great storytelling, which is surprising because it's all true, you know.
Yes, and not only that, but like you're talking like some heavy hitters, not just in the acting portion, but like Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg did this. Like you don't
Yes.
get too much bigger than those two guys making Band of Brothers. Ray, what were your thoughts, sir? I think this is your first watch,
It
right?
was my first
This is
watch.
your first watch. All right,
That's wild.
yeah, it
That's
is.
crazy.
It is.
But yeah, it's a good start. A lot of like memory lane kind of similarities towards me. So I guess I'll discuss that later. But yeah, I mean, it was a good start to the show. I enjoyed it very much.
Awesome. Yes, I was excited to like crazy. I watched it 6 times before we recorded this.
See, I did, you admitted to me at least three. I didn't say like.
Well, we were supposed to record this last week, and
I know.
I'd watched it 3 times before last week.
Yeah, Thomas.
That's what I was telling AJ on the ride in. I was like, I didn't even take notes this time. I was like, Holtz has enough notes for everybody. Like,
So yes, I watched it 6 times. I was excited. I got my boys to watch it with me a couple times. My wife is even like, I think my wife knows what's going on just because every time she walked in the room, I was watching it
did
again.
you make the boys run afterward?
No, I didn't. But
I would have. Like, and guess what we're doing today? Like,
But yes, to get our conversation kicked off here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The intro to this show, like the intro to the show every episode, it like gives me like that tingly feeling down my spine every time it comes on. Like I watch Band of Brothers probably once a year. And but every time it just like it gets me. But I want to start off with saying something that may be obvious, but it just speaks to me so much. Is David Schwimmer does such a fantastic fucking job making you hate Sobel.
He really does.
Yeah.
Like this is like this happens between like he films this between season 6 and season 7 of Friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like, and this is nowhere near the same character as Ross on Friends.
no. Well, I
You know,
remember everybody because everybody knew this was happening and all because I remember it being advertised, and I just remember everybody like the murmuring of people talking shit whether David Schwimmer could actually like do the role even. Because I remember that was a big, because like you said, he'd pretty much been typecast as Ross this whole time. So it's like, you're kind of a pussy, dude. I was like, and I gotta expect that you're gonna be this like pain in the ass, like hard nosed drill instructor. Like, like, I mean, he proved it. Like, yeah, like I mean, by far, like,
And he's played assholes since then. So we've seen him do it again.
yeah,
But this was like the first time we really saw it. And I really think he just knocked it out of the park. Sobel's character is so important to this first episode that if he wouldn't have pulled it off, I apologize. If he wouldn't have pulled it off, that would have been very, very detrimental to at least the beginning of the series, if not the whole series. If you would have messed up Sobel from the very beginning.
yeah, because it sets a tone for the leadership within them and all.
It sets the tone for the group
Right.
as them coming together
Yeah.
and them being an elite unit and everything and the way it goes down with Sobel is just so important to the unit, to Winters, to Nixon.
Well, pretty much set Winters up for his role.
Yeah, yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah,
Because
it really shows
Yeah.
how Winters is effective without being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sobel. I mean, you can argue he is very effective.
But I
in a
I
way,
even,
but
He is.
yeah,
but I agreed with the promotion, or I guess
Yeah.
we'll call it a promotion, quote unquote. But it's like, I mean, like skipping ahead, it's like, yeah, it's like, hey, I'm not gonna put you in charge of these guys. Like they pretty much like all mutinied against you. Like, but you gave me the best group of guys. Like pretty much because they united out of hatred and all that, and you got a great leader out of it. So it's like we're gonna ship you out, and we're gonna do like instead of this experiment program and all that our first time, now you're gonna be in charge and doing it like for the whole base or whatever. Or like I would have taken that opportunity and all. I don't know. Like you could tell that he obviously didn't fucking want it.
No, I actually I did some research on this. Listening to the podcast and looking stuff up on Sobel himself. He never recovered from this.
No, like you
Um,
could even see like, and that was something that was like you could tell that was how like a Schwimmer like you could see it in the guy's face.
Well, the reaction faces
That's
in
my
Sync's
thing.
office were good.
Yeah, like
classic.
even him holding it, like he emoted so well because you could even see it to where like I don't know. I feel like yeah, you hated the guy, but his character was very complex in that sense because it was one of those things like you're not a leader. You're just put in a leadership role because, like I said, he fumble fucked like several times,
Well,
Mhm.
and he just
what-
blamed other people around him. He was jealous of the fact that like other people wanted to follow the true guy that was leading. Like,
he was so jealous of Winters, it was ridiculous.
oh yeah, like
Well, that-
like
yeah.
you see how he even gave him the fucking promotion. Like, there, boom. I was like, like you got kitchen dude. Like, and on
Yeah.
top of that, like
Or-
spaghetti. Everybody's suffering.
He threatened
like,
him with a court martial after he completed the mission that Sobel couldn't read a map and cut the fence and all that stuff. You know, like
I
and then he's
love
like,
that.
"Oh, I'm good."
Who told you to cut that man's fence? Like,
You know, he takes. I don't know
really? He
how
did?
many of you all caught this, but he takes. I mean, obviously everybody caught this part. Like he takes weekend passes pretty much every week.
yeah.
But he hit the punishment for Winters was I'm taking your weekend pass for 2 months. 2 months.
yeah, be a man. Take the punishment. Like,
Yeah.
he just pen like. But like I said, but that's why he said it. He knew it was bullshit. Like he just thought he could bully him around still.
But here's the thing, though. I agree with AJ. AJ's assessment was spot on. He did accomplish things, and he was important until it became time for him to lead in the field.
Yeah.
He got them in like elite shape.
He's good middle management.
Yes, he was a stickler for the rules. He made, and like you said, he brought them all together.
Yeah.
You know, so putting him in charge of a jump school is probably a good thing as far as like he will produce more good paratroopers.
Yeah. Like yeah. Like I said, you could tell it's not what he wanted, but at the same time, you could tell that like. I like I said, I think Schwimmer did a great job of portraying like, hey, this guy wasn't the soldier he even wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing.
Even though he
Like,
kept getting promoted, because even after he leaves the Easy Company, he gets promoted a couple more times because he's such a Nazi, no pun intended, about the rules and the regulations, and like he's good on like that side of it. It's just he can't work in the field. So he continues to get promoted. So I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I think I gave it to you, Ray. Do you have it over there? What he ends up his rank at the end?
Yeah, hold on. Send a text message.
But yeah, I totally believe it though. But once again, like that kind of personality like thrives in that type of environment though.
He's got captain, so he. Well, I guess when he leaves, he's a captain.
Yeah.
But what is he?
Yeah, I
after
didn't.
jump
Yeah,
school?
that's true. I didn't give you what they retired as. I gave you
Yeah.
what they are on the show as. So that's true.
Either way, to still be in charge of it, that's a great opportunity to launch your career throughout it. Especially like being talked about, like, dude, look what you did with these guys.
Well, here's the thing. These guys weren't just in good shape. Okay, they weren't even in good shape for the Army when they sent them to jump school. So when they're done at Currahee and they send them to jump school, every other company had to go through a few, like 3 weeks of physical training. Easy Company got to skip it and went straight to jumping out of planes.
I mean, it makes sense.
They were in so much better shape than every other company that. Dog, like he names them at that one point, Dog Company and what I remember the rest of them. To be honest with you,
Fox Company,
yeah, but Easy Company got to skip it and go straight to jumping out of planes because they were in so much superior shape than everybody. But they spent all their weekends running up Currahee and marching in the dark and doing all those things. Like,
but once again, I feel like if you're getting ready to, like I said, inadvertently, like I said, he hadn't been there or anything, but it's like. That's almost what you want, but it's like we don't have time for this shit. You're about to go over to fight a real war back then, like the one the guy said in the opening, like it wasn't like other wars afterwards. Like this was one of the times where we got attacked, to where it's like I could see how somebody, especially a drill sergeant, would take it seriously. Like no one's getting a weekend pass no matter what. Like I'm gonna make sure you guys are just killing machines.
And another part to that intro when he goes, there were guys commit suicide because they couldn't go.
yeah.
How fucking flipped is our warped world now?
Yeah.
Well, we even seen that in like other movies, like Pearl Harbor, where like people were cheating to get in and everything and stuff like that, and forging documents. Like it was, like you said, it was a different call at the time because it was one to where like one old boy said it. He's like, he's like, maybe we were just simple country people, but it's like, would you get attacked? Like, yeah, we're gonna come after you. Like. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what's gonna happen. Like, it's like it's not gonna end well for you.
So talk about Sobel's character. I feel like there was a lot of different sides of Sobel's character because we talked about the fact that he was such a stickler, and we talked about the fact that first off he made them in really good shape, but he ran with them. He was in good shape too.
Yeah.
And he made them hate him because that's the other thing. He wasn't just strict; he was actively looking for reasons to punish them, which is why they hated him. I mean, in reality. But here's the one that kind of like threw me for a loop. Is I feel like they very clearly tried to make it look like he was scared of jumping out of planes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because there was two things. First off, that he's like sweating and like he pauses at the door and like the rest of them were just like go, 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 and he's like goes to the door, grabs the sides and like pauses for a minute before he jumps. But the real key to me was in every plane that they showed guys jumping out of, the highest ranking officer in the plane jumped first. Except for his. Winters jumped, Nixon jumped, and then some random guys jumped, and then Sobel jumped. He was 6. But in the sergeants jumped first in there, like Lipton jumped first, Garnier jumped first, Winters jumped first, but no. Sobel was 6th. I don't know if that was like that part of it was done on purpose. I assume it was. Like kind of send a message of like maybe I don't know. I'm more like I don't want to be up front. I don't know. It didn't seem to bother Winters. Winters was right out the door, and Winters like at the end stands in the door like looking down as they're flying the plane like with no harness or anything on. So
I mean, you're going out that door no matter what. So
that's fair. Yeah,
it might as well. It doesn't matter where you really are. It's like, all right, you're still going. Like. But man, those parachutes, it just looked like a fucking bed sheet. Like that's like just looking at it like, man, that's just 1,000 thread count. That's all that is. That's just a tight weave and like a good count. Like these motherfuckers have no cartilage in their knees.
I guess my other question was on the lines of Sobel is How can you be that bad at reading a map? I mean, all of us are old enough that we had to read maps before we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
GPS and stuff. Like reading maps, I mean, yeah, it's not like
I
the
fucking
like
hate
you just open it and know what the hell you're doing automatically, but he's a captain in the army. He's been in the army for years, it appears. You know, he's a grown man. Like, and like just driving across the states required a map at that point. Like, how could he be that bad at reading a map?
Like a grid off.
Yeah, you're a full grid off, sir. Like what?
And when you fail at something, why wouldn't you at least defer to somebody else instead of having a fucking big ass cocky ego up your ass?
Well, yes, I agree. My thing is, he is constantly. Yeah, I can't. What is his name? Tipper, the map guy, the guy that carries the map for him. Like, why not just have Tipper be like, just like call Tipper over to you every few? Are we going the right direction?
Yeah.
Like, he could have deferred the map reading to him and just been in charge. Like, hey,
Yeah.
Tipper, are we going the right direction? Hey, how long till we have to, you know, move north or move east or whatever? You know, Tipper, where are we going? Like,
But see, I'll even as a leader, I'll forgive his shitty mathematics for him throwing the fit about the fence. I think that was really done more so to show the character of the actual person than the fact of like, all right, like you said, maybe you are just fucking god awful at math and everything and reading. It's the 40s, like who knows? Like who knows what your real education is? Like you got a high school education in the 40s. I don't know what the standard is. But I mean, at this point to where like you're at least like I said, he argued with the people like we can just go over the fence, sir. Like, no, it shouldn't exist. Like that's not what you would expect your leader to do. Like he was falling apart mentally at that
yeah, I
point.
was getting ready to say he was panicking.
Like that's what
Yeah.
yeah. But once again, Schwimmer showed that to where you could see him like hyperventilating, bug-eyed, and then when they were fucking with him, like doing the impersonation, then he really just like shit a brick and all.
Well,
Like,
you saw multiple emotions there. Like again, this is credit to Swimmer. He immediately goes to I'm pissed off. Who broke silence? Screaming at him. And then when the guy who's laughing in the background, by the way, goes, I think that's was it Colonel Sink? Yeah, Colonel Sink. And he's like, "What?" Oh, then he goes into panic mode again. You're like, he's like, "What? Is he with us?" And I can't remember the guy's. I don't know if they ever actually say it. The guy that's following him around, but we don't. He doesn't actually do a
Simon
whole.
Pegg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but no, that was. But once again, like I said, like I think that's a bigger to me in the leadership role and everything is like because they knew that he would panic and everything because that's like at that point like because you're not gonna want to follow somebody that panics like that into those situations. So it's and if you knew that I'm gonna fuck with the guy just by acting like this and he like lost his shit. And then later, like I said, you've seen the mutiny to where like I can't follow this guy into war.
Okay, so
Like one guy just says it.
let's talk about that for a second because we've talked now about two things that possibly could lead to Sobel being removed, being sent to run the jump camp. One of which is the mutiny from the sergeants. The other one being that he sucks in the field. But the third one is he court martials Winters, and not necessarily intentionally. He didn't intentionally make
Right.
the
it
court
wasn't
martial.
his
Winters
choice for that.
chose a court martial because he was essentially tired of dealing with Sobel's shit.
And another time
Well,
when Sobel kind of
Yeah,
panicked.
but it was more like
Yes.
he
Yeah.
just chose the trial and all that.
He chose a trial because
Yeah.
he was tired of being bullied by Winters by Sobel for
But
no
that was
reason.
the whole point of shipping like Sobel out to where because I even said before that is like this whole Winters thing is like kind of a fiasco or whatever. I don't remember how I phrased it, but
Yeah.
it was pretty much hey like we're gonna drop the Winters thing. We're shipping you out and like just we're calling this just boom. Everybody walks away. Like
So which of those three things, in order, I guess, what order do you think the three of them held weight to him losing his spot in Easy Company?
Winners.
You think Winters was the most important?
Yeah. Because because the dude had already promoted him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whatever
First
rank,
lieutenant.
yeah, whatever rank
Mhm.
he was. I mean, he already knew he was a good guy because he caught him out there PTing everybody
Mm-hmm.
on his own initiative, and he's been observing everybody. So that was probably the biggest weight that could have went against Sobel.
So
I
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it's his personality. Like, cause I mean, let's be honest. He was clearly jealous that the guys like respected Winters, and he knew they didn't respect them. Like
true.
he would walk in on them several times there, like right before they talk shit, so you know he heard him. And I feel like they put that in there to kind of show that dynamic and all, to where like, hey, he was disliked and he probably knew it to a degree. So, but then on top of that, like I'm gonna say like it's a combination of personality and competence, because it'd be like I feel like if you were them, you would overlook, because like I said, he did turn them into like elite soldiers.
Yep.
But if he was elite himself, you would be like, it was worth it. He's a fucking hard ass, but like I'll follow him into hell because
Mm-hmm.
look what he made me, and look what he's modeling. But that's what Winters was doing. Is Winters was
Yes.
suffering with them,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time still like leading them and whatnot. Like, but also you can see the spitefulness. Like it was. So I think it was more personality than anything.
AJ.
I just assume it's the sergeants. Like every single sergeant in the company resigning sends a pretty loud message, I would think.
Okay, so
But that was the final straw.
the three of you all gave different answers, which I think is great, by the way. Because I think it's dependent. Because I think him being such a failure in the field would hold the most weight. Because essentially, you're saying I'm going to get all my men killed,
Mhm.
and we're not. And that's not how you
Yeah.
win wars. But I can't help but think, how much of that did they know about? You know, they knew that he kept losing in war games, but did they know that he was incompetent? Like that he couldn't read a map, that he couldn't do these things? Because I feel like that would have been a bigger deal if Sync knew it.
Right.
I don't think they did.
I
I don't
Yeah.
think they knew it.
I don't know. I think it would have to be obvious. Like I said, if you lose every war game, but you're like in the best physical shape, and you all knew it, but like, how is it we're the most athletically gifted in all this? We can outrun everybody and all that, like, but yet we lose every time because this guy, like I said, we've even made fun of the fact he can't read a map. Like, or even the fact that like you aren't even like humble enough, or like once again, you don't have the leadership qualities because you don't even have to be the guy to read the fucking map. Pull the guy that's good at it over here
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
allocate those resources. Like you, that's the thing about
Which
it.
he's chewing Winters out for that one
For not
point.
doing that.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing is like, yeah, but because that's where he doesn't see it. He wants to be able to do it all, and he isn't a team player like that. Like Winters pulls on his resources and is and well, you'll even hear him echo that like in later episodes, like about how to interact with these guys, and you could just tell that like he doesn't get it, and that this wasn't about this wasn't about Easy Company as a totality. This was about he wanted to leave his mark on Easy Company and make it the best under him.
There was some vanity to it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it was number one, but at that he wasn't the best.
Mm-hmm.
He made other people the best, but that's the thing is like he couldn't hide his flaws, and he was too prideful to like allocate resources. Because fuck, how much could he have made himself look better if he would just buddied up to Winters and all that? And it was like really show like the like one of the good examples like the promotion and all that. That would have been a great example to win brownie points with everybody. To like be able to like promote him in front of everybody and everything, and use him as an example. Like, and instead you do it outside after you take everybody's weekend pass, and then like you give him the shitty kitchen duty. Well, I mean, it was
Mhm.
just one of those things where it was just he wasn't a leader. He was good middle management, like, but it was because of his personality and because he had an ego, or at
That
least his character. I don't know in real
well,
life, but
that and he didn't show any limitations. Like there's a point where you
No.
lay the hammer down,
well,
but
no,
there's
it was
also a point where you got to have at least some kind of structure here and know that
yeah.
you can't just keep throwing and throwing and throwing at somebody. You got to, ease off and let them relax for a second.
Yeah. Well, or even if you would have played I guess it kind of happened inadvertently, but played up a good cop, bad cop dynamic with Winters, to where like it's like you could always be the bad cop, but guess what? Like even like when Winters made that joke and everything when they're marching, it was like, why does he make us run so much? Like, because he hates us, or it's like, nah, he only hates you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's shit like that to where like he defended him so much until like he actually backstabbed Winters. Like that was the thing. Like Winters like really did stick up for him and all that. Or
Well,
tried
even
to.
you remember, even when Winters and Nixon and what's the new guy's name? Is it the new officer that comes in midway through the episode?
Wells.
Oh, it's
What'd you say, AJ?
Is it Wells?
I can't remember. Anyway, when he walks in, they start talking crap on Sobel,
Mhm.
and Winters turns around and looks at them and goes, "We need to keep this to ourselves."
Yeah.
And even Winters is being professional about that.
Mhm.
So
But I think that's why it drove the point home much more, like when he did backstab Winters and just gave him that ultimatum, and it was like, just fucking no more, man. Like just called him out on his shit because he knew he wasn't gonna actually get court martial. It's like, yeah, by the time this gets reviewed, like you're the one that's gonna be reassigned, bro. Like this isn't gonna be good for you. Like
yeah. Well, to finish my story from earlier, I started this earlier. After he has a successful rest of his military career, like with the rest of the war and everything like that, Sobel goes home and he still can't get over losing Easy Company. He's married and has children and things like this. Well, but he ends up shooting himself in the head, but doesn't kill himself. So ends up in the VA. His wife divorces him. And doesn't speak to him. His kids don't speak to him because he's just this bitter, angry old man. And he dies of malnutrition, actually. So in the VA.
that's what he just refused to eat.
I don't know if
Yeah.
he refused to. Well, here's the other thing. Like Randleman, like who's a fairly main character in this show. Randleman is like abused to death in a VA. Like the VA.
I mean,
As much reading as I've done on some of these characters, and a lot of them end up in VAs at the end of their lives, the VAs aren't painted in very good light.
No.
Like,
I haven't heard too many talk about him in a positive light. But yeah,
No, they're not.
I'm not surprised.
yeah. But that being said, so interesting story is once they had their first, because the Easy Company, I mean, they don't now because they're all dead, but I can't remember how many years, couple of years, I think maybe it's every year, I don't know. Easy Company would have a reunion where all the soldiers would show back up and meet somewhere and, spend time together. And the reunion after this aired, Sobel's son showed up. And he wanted to know why they ruined his dad's life.
What?
Ooh, all right. Would have been
Um,
an interesting conversation.
but he said, the son, I read this interview with him. The son said that the men all spoke very highly of his dad and said that they would have not survived the war without his dad. Like, his dad made them war fighting machines. But they had to do what they had to do to essentially get Winters to be their commanding officer.
I would have been more interested to hear what were the stories he told his son.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would have been because that, yeah, especially being like a little bit bitter, and even if he had a little bit of the personality type that we saw in the episode, I would bet this man had there was some resentment and hatred and everything. So I bet those stories got colorful as shit.
There's a version of it where Winters is like a conniving.
Oh, I'm
backstabbing,
sure. Yeah, I bet there is some. Yeah, yeah, I bet that gets pretty outlandish.
So was Sobel alive when the show came out?
No. No. Quite. I shouldn't say quite a few, but a fair amount of them that survived the war had died before the show had come out.
Yeah, fuck, you're on 45. What came out? What 2015?
No, 2001.
2001. Fuck. All right.
Yeah. Spears was actually died before it came out. Which has nothing to do with this episode, so I won't say much more about that. But no, I just thought the Sobel story was so important. I wanted to spend some good time talking about it. But let's switch it up a little bit here and let's talk more about Winters, because this episode, I feel like, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if you think I'm wrong, but I really feel like this episode has three main characters. It's Sobel, it's Winters, and it's Nixon. They are the three main characters of this episode.
Yeah, I can say yeah to that.
And it's really about the power struggle between the officers, and obviously showing the training too. No montages for Barry, but But anyway, Winters just appears like a well-oiled machine in this
Winters cracks me up.
episode. I mean, he's always the first one to the top of Currahee, and then he stops and encourages all the people until they're gone, and then he runs back to the front of the line. Like, he's obviously in very, very good shape himself. He's always, he has to get up early and make sure things are ready and make sure it's, everything's in right. He's out there leading the march every Friday night in the middle of the night for 12 miles in full gear. By the way, this is like summertime in Georgia. It would have been hot as shit.
Oh, so humid.
Well, that's why they started off with the fly sound when you
Yeah.
go in the camp there.
Where'd you go to basic, Ray?
San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
San Diego.
San Diego.
San Diego.
So let's talk about this for a minute. They have to run Currahee all the time. And Currahee is 3 miles up and 3 miles down. They tell you that repeatedly. So 6 miles. Okay? And in full gear, they have to be able to do that in 50 minutes. Okay? So that's, 25 minutes up, 25 minutes down in full gear. Now, it's not just 6 miles. It's 6 miles uphill. Or 3 miles uphill, I should say, and 3 miles downhill.
And it looks like it gets steeper and steeper as you go.
Well, that part at the top where he's timing them looked like it was like you almost had to get down and bear crawl to get up it.
Well, and then, but it was so steep you had to zigzag. If you noticed that, you ever had to go up in that pattern. Like you couldn't even walk up it in a straight line or even an arc. Like that's how you knew. Like, and there was no at that point it was even a foothill. It wasn't even like an actual like dirt road that they were running on going up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those to where this is just brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved it. I love the whole thing about it. Like all episode one, just the whole training sequence, and like you said, the power struggle, the dynamic between everybody. It made me want to go out and train. I loved the fuck out of this whole episode. Like for real. It was the whole time just sitting there itching. I got to do something.
So what did you think of? And this is a little off topic, but of the scene with Private Christensen where he drank his water. So he had to redo in the middle of the night by himself the 12-mile hike.
I loved it.
That's insane.
It is.
Yep.
He probably didn't make it. I'll be totally honest.
By the way, you all realize who that is, right?
Yeah. Vampire.
Fassbender.
Yeah, it's fast.
Oh, that was fast. I was thinking the other guy, Skarsgård.
No, but like I said, but that's what made me love him as a drill sergeant in this.
Yeah, he does. He does a fantastic job of playing this character.
It was just so it was one of those things to where like everybody after this guy just took this mold and tried to be him. That's all it was. To where it's it's gonna be my way no matter what, and I'm just gonna manipulate everything. What even he told Winters and all that, find me 6 infractions or get the infractions. Which ones? Find them.
Yeah.
I loved it. To where it's no, it's people are gonna stay here. They're gonna fucking train. And I just love that. Like I said, it's you were instructed not to drink the water and everything. You disobeyed an order. Motherfucker, we're trying to be elite here. Run it again. You're trying to make him quit. That's the thing.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah, that's
you want the strongest guys on your back.
Yeah, well, or at least the guys to where you were given an order and you disobeyed it. That was, and you drank the whole canteen. That was the thing to where there was nothing you were pouring out. It wasn't like you snuck a sip. You did enough that he noticed and all.
So I actually read something on this as well, or maybe it was in the podcast. I can't remember at this point. But Christensen had during basic, he ends up getting diagnosed with some sort of disorder or something. Maybe disorder is not the right word, but some condition where he gets dehydrated really, really easily.
Oh.
And because he starts passing out and doing these things. So they actually start the army, not he decided to start making him carry 2 canteens instead of 1. It was a requirement for him. And he got in the habit of everywhere they went, he carried extra cigarettes and extra chocolate bars so he could trade it for people's water.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I think I would just do the barter system anyway. Like, just get
Right.
ready for that. But yeah, no, that's smart.
Okay.
So
Sucks you got to carry the extra weight, but smart.
see, they tried to work these little tiny details into things that may not giving you the full story. That like, oh,
yeah.
Private Christensen has this, condition or whatever. But they like
I know
use
the
it
medical
where
history.
not only that, but Christensen's a machine gunner. He has a machine gun over his shoulder.
That was
So-
like he's carrying. How heavy would that be? I don't even know.
I don't know if anybody's gonna know. It's gonna be you.
What?
He's carrying. It looks like he's carrying like a 30 cal machine gun on his shoulder.
No, it's probably like probably one of the 50 cal because it's definitely not a Mark 19.
Yeah, but how much do you think that weighs? That
That's
machine
a
gun.
good probably like 100, 150.
Really?
Yeah, because you have to have the barrel changes because once the barrels get too hot, you can't fire it, so you have to change the barrels. So you probably got 2 spare barrels, which are probably like 30 pounds apiece.
So he had to march 24
And I'm
miles.
probably exaggerating the weight, but I mean once you have the barrels and the gun on your back, it's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know they're pretty big. 'Cause that's what I had a girlfriend where that's what her dad did in Nam. Dude was like 6'4". Like, he was a large motherfucker. So I imagine that they got to weigh something because they put it on this big motherfucker from Texas and all that. And
Yeah.
he pretty much was a tank with this thing. Like, so yeah. Like I imagine like there was probably some weight to it, even without carrying the ammo.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, usually they have a second guy that carries ammo and the tripod.
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
They show that a couple times over the
And
course.
that's
of
how
the
they do with the 240 golf, which is like a squad automated. They have one guy with the barrels on his back, and then they got the machine gun. But I used to carry the 249 saw, and that's supposed to be a squad automated weapon. But I had it myself. I just carried, but it was only like one barrel and the machine gun, and it wasn't as heavy as like the Mark 19 or the 50 cals. It was a lighter weapon, so I could carry it myself. But yeah.
Mhm. So anyway, we got kind of sidetracked from what I originally asked us to talk about. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Winters, and I guess essentially his journey through this episode. Like we kind of talked about how he does absolutely everything with the men, so he misses nothing. But he also has these other duties he has to perform, and he has to deal with Sobel like everybody else.
Yeah. But I mean, I think, like you said, it was pretty much him just gaining the confidence to actually navigate, like we'll say, the bureaucracy of the military. So, like I said, he pretty much let Sobel shit on him for the longest time until he actually like had the confidence to stand up to him, and then it put him in a leadership role. Because, like you said, basically because he did like try to play ball this whole time. Like he was the good soldier. He was the guy that did everything that was asked of him, did it to a T, and was proficient in it all. And like I said, the guy above him was just jealous of that. Like, which I'll go back to the personality flaw.
Well, not only that, he probably seen the part where he maneuvered his squad right, and then he heard about how Sobel maneuvered his squad, and then he was trying to come down with 6 fucking weekends worth of fucking bullshit, and he's like, I'm not gonna die in this bitch. There's no way I'm coming over here and dying like that. So when he gave him the option to the punishment or the court martial, it was probably like, yeah, it's my men and we're getting them home,
So, would I be going too far out on a limb to say that everybody likes Winters?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing to dislike.
So, would it change your opinion of Winters if I told you that he planned everything to have Sobel removed?
I would respect him more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a no fucking brainer.
But once again, like, yeah, I'll go. He played the bureaucratic game, even it just proves what Ray said is right. To where it's like, no, I'm not going to let my men, and at that point he probably did think of them as his men. To where it's like, no, I'm going to take charge of this. To where I'm not going to let my men die under this man's incompetence.
Right. It's not just a personality conflict with Sobel.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably would have gotten him killed.
Like I said, it would be so different if Sobel was actually proficient at like leading and actually doing the skills. Like it's like you can make great soldiers, like you're great at conditioning apparently, but you are just terrible in the field. Like we can't have you out there.
So, Winters decided to pick court martial on purpose to stick it to Sobel, which I think they do a good job of showing us.
Okay.
But what they don't show us is that Winters had already planned with his sergeants for them to all resign.
Right.
It was all Winters.
like,
Winters maneuvered it all in
Well-
order to get Sobel's back up against the wall.
But I believe that entirely because like they even said it before. Is like the punishment for this is we could be lined up and shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, which in my mind I was like, fuck, I forgot that was even a thing. And we're like, yeah, it's like, we don't really even have to give you a trial for this. Like, fucking line up. Like, just,
Well, not only that, but like Sink says it. Sink's
Yeah.
like, I ought to have you all shot.
and then, because like if I didn't need soldiers right now, but like I said, but that means but it makes sense to where like I'm gonna make this move to get court-martialed. Like one, like you said, an officer like, ooh, a blip on the radar. I have to do this trial and all, and then everybody else under this guy's command lines up and like they're willing to risk that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, so not only do you have like and like I said, all these people are talked highly of. The whole time, everybody is praising everybody involved here, like including Stovall himself.
Yeah.
Like is the thing. So it's one of those like, how come you all are doing so well, but you're a fuck apparently? Like, so yeah, it's
And you lose all your war games.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I think that's why I think the call was it was a great like bureaucratic call to be like, hey, we're just gonna make you go over here and train people at jump school. The rest of you and everything move on. Like Winters, you're up. Like, but like I said, it was for the best.
Yeah.
Oh, it was totally
Like,
for the
yeah.
best.
Absolutely.
Like,
But-
but once again, it shows leadership with Winters because he coordinated it then. So no,
But
I'm
you
with-
got
I'm with AJ.
he coordinated it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's a ballsy move because he could have gotten all of his sergeants killed.
Well, yeah.
Like it's a ball. Now
once
the
again-
sergeants may have looked at it as in I'm gonna die anyway.
Well, but
Like
Yeah.
if I go with him,
At least
Yeah.
my chance.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing, like that shows you that they were like, and I think that's another reason why it wouldn't have happened anyway, because like when I said when you have that many ranking officers aligned, like you're willing to get shot over this bullshit, like, and like you said, nothing has happened. Like like I said, everybody's being talked positive about, but you all line up in front of me and say you're quitting at the last minute, like a week out. But yeah, well, like that's an issue and everything that's been going under the radar. So I'd be pissed too if I was him. Like, it would be one of those things. But yeah, you're not gonna shoot him. Like you're gonna figure it out and like, because that would just be terrible headlines anyway.
By the way, did you all notice that, like, well, first off, he kicks one of them out of the regiment. Like, I don't know where he went, but he
Yeah.
gets kicked out of the regiment.
You're reassigned. Yeah.
Then he demotes one of them and then just leaves the rest of them as sergeants and puts them back out there.
Well, he probably demoted the worst two, like got rid of one of the worst ones, demoted the others the second worst, and was like, okay, I'm throwing my weight around to show respect for the upper ranks, but we still understand your concerns, but we still got to fucking reprimand somebody for fucking a mutiny, and that's why the other 5 still got to do what they had to do and stayed.
Still got the reassignment for so yeah, but it was yeah. But once again, like I said, like great leadership move, and the fact that all those guys were willing to risk it shows that like, hey, we're also willing to jump out of a plane and follow you into battle. Like,
Yeah.
because like you said, we're gonna get shot at no matter what. It's like this one's just a guaranteed death, and this one's a gamble. Like, but either way, like we're following you to like probably our death no matter what. They're still following him.
All right. Well, is anybody else have anything on Winters before I ask about the next guy?
I don't think so.
Now, I think
So let's talk about Nixon. We pretty much haven't brought Nixon up at all, and I know this is like AJ's favorite character.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Office Space.
And yes, Mr. Office Space. But also, we don't
He fucks with winners.
you don't fully see
Like,
it in
that's-
this
yeah.
episode, but Nixon is a very complex character.
Yeah. But I think that's why I like Nixon.
And yes, he is the only guy that fucks with Winters. Like, and not fucks with him as in like physically, and just verbally clashing with
Yeah,
them.
just but
and
it's like it's almost like just banter. Like it's
Yeah.
like he's like the only guy that's really trying to be friends with Winter because everybody else thinks Winters is weird.
mhm.
Yeah.
Like, just
Oh,
'cause, like,
Quaker.
yeah,
The old Quaker.
Yeah, the guy doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. He doesn't want to like show any interest in like just anything.
Well,
to,
well,
like,
Nixon says at one point, he's like, "You'll get used to it. No smoking, no drinking, no sense of humor."
Yeah, but once again, like Nixon loves that about it. Like that's
Yeah.
what's funny to where
He's always offering him a drink. He's
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, like I said, it's like I wouldn't offer if I thought you would take it. Like just like Yeah, because Nixon just walk around the flask all the time. Like,
Oh, I like it on the train ride. He's like, Nixon, what are you gonna do in combat?
yeah, it's
Like I hit a case in your foot locker.
yeah,
yeah.
like,
And I have every, what does he say? I have every something in my scrounging abilities.
yeah.
Every faith in my
Yeah.
scrounging abilities. Yeah. And yeah,
Yeah,
he does a good job.
he does.
He does a good job. No, and I do feel like Nixon, I mean, you get little one-liners from Garnier and a couple of the other guys throughout, but Nixon is like the go-to guy for like the comic relief. He has the zingers, he has the one-liners. He's always talking crap. I mean, even when Nixon, or not when Nixon, when Winters gets his court-martial paper, all Nixon says is he misspelled court-martial.
Yeah.
Like Nixon's just an interesting character. I don't know how much they talk about it in this episode, but he's a Harvard graduate. So obviously Ivy League. He comes from a very wealthy family. I think his dad was in oil, something like that. So he came from a wealthy family. He's a Harvard graduate. He's very intelligent. And now essentially he's like a little butthurt that like, well, now I'm going to war just to grunt like everybody else.
Yeah.
In the first little section of the episode, he's talking about it'd be a happy hour in Chicago and New York right now. Like that.
With the time zone change.
Yeah.
What time is it? Yeah. Yeah, in the beginning when they get ready, when they call off the jump. Like,
But at the same time, Nixon jumps out of a plane with them.
Yep.
Nixon's doing his job. Nixon is around. Nixon is kind of like a mixture between some of the other officers. Like he's loyal to Winters, and he is intelligent and knows what he's doing, like Winters. But at the same time, he's not the stick in the mud that Winters is. He has a more personality. He jokes around more with the privates, but at the same time, he does kind of pull away. He's not like super involved with them all the time. He's not trying to buddy up with them and become friendly with them like maybe Buck does.
But I think that speaks to his character, like what you said just right there and everything. Like he's proficient at the job, but like I said, he doesn't want to do the job.
Yeah.
He's just, like I said, he just got like drafted into it and everything and all. Like he would much rather probably be stateside doing what he went to school for and all that. To where like I said, he's good at it. He understands how to play the game of it. But like this is clearly he didn't want to be a soldier.
Yeah. I don't want to get too far ahead, but he's the same rank as Winters for most of the series, but you never really see him leading any other soldiers. Like
No.
you don't really see him issuing commands or like maneuvering or anything. Yeah.
I don't know how that works. Maybe Ray, you can lighten some of this. Like, he's an officer, but he's the intelligence officer, while Winters is like their like commanding officer. So like, how does that work when it comes to command?
I don't know how the intelligence office thing kind of goes. I don't really know how that goes. But I'm guessing he would go to like briefing meetings. Like he would be tasked out to go to the briefing, and he would collect that, and he would bring it back to Winters, and he would brief Winters, and Winters would do like a whole game plan.
Totally, I get that. But what I'm saying is like, how does that work in like the chain of command with those two both? Because like he said, their rank is the same, but he's
it would go by seniority since Winters has probably been second in command the whole episode or however long. So it goes seniority, I guess. So it goes second lieutenant or first lieutenant, I guess is what they are now. And seniority, so it'd be Winters with the seniority, and then it goes same rank, seniority kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. You'll hear like first lieutenant, second lieutenant. Like
yeah.
Kind of
So second lieutenant's the first rank, and then first is the next rank, and then captain's third.
Got you. Well, AJ, you got any thoughts on Nixon in this first episode before we move on?
I just love that he's a smartass. I think.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Okay. Well, does anybody have anything specific they want to talk about before? I just have some interesting facts left over here that I want to talk about, but other than that, I don't think I have any.
No,
Well,
I
I guess
got nothing specific.
I guess we do need to touch on the fact that they did cross the Atlantic and they're in England somewhere. So they went to jump school, and then they
Yeah,
got on.
they started off everything. Yeah, they're getting ready for D-Day.
Yeah, they're at Currahee. They go to jump school, and then they go to New York to get on a ship. By the way, let's talk about that for a second. They are packed in that ship like sardines, bro. Like
Yeah.
the level of bunks they go so like you
Yeah.
see Picante
Yeah.
climbing it like it's a damn mountain.
Yeah, nobody gives a rat's ass about comfort. Like it says, how many people can we fit on here without it sinking and all that?
And Tom and I looked it up because we were talking about it last week. That's a 2 week. It took them 2 weeks to cross the Atlantic, so they were packed in there like that for 2 weeks.
Good times.
Yeah, well,
Miserable.
Miserable, yes.
And
I mean-
and I remember being on a ship and it was kind of bunks, but it was too high. It wasn't like a mile high,
Yeah.
but the
No.
space in between.
no, I was one of those
It's
motherfuckers
like
just
a
standing around
fucking
on the
sardine
ground,
in a
like,
sardine
Like,
can.
it's not worth
Yeah.
it. Like,
Well, I mean, they show when the Picante scene when he goes up 6 times. It doesn't show that he's done going up. He just goes off the camera.
Right.
So I don't know how big that area is,
See,
but
I just love the fight and everything. Where it's like they're sitting there playing cards, like, what are they fighting about? Like, yeah, he called so and so a Jew. And like, wait a minute, they're fighting over who? And then he's like, bah, like just
he's like, what idiots fighting over Sobel?
yeah. It's like, I loved it and all. Just hilarious. Like, he's just sitting there casually playing cards. Like, why are the guys fighting? I'm like, oh yeah, like so nonsense. Like,
I mean, the guy's got a point. Like, seriously, you guys are gonna get a fight over Sobel?
well, like that's what it just. But once again, it made it funny because like
It was, yeah.
Like I just loved that. To where like, yeah, like you got nothing else to do on a like you said, you're packed there for 2 weeks. Like let the guys fight. It's fine. Like just fuck it.
All right, yeah. So they're at the end of this. They're training in England somewhere, on essentially like a base.
Well, they're actually getting ready to jump.
They're getting ready
And
to jump.
It
Yeah.
got called. Yeah. So,
Well,
that's
at the end of the episode, they're actually in the planes.
yeah, but the episode
Yeah.
starts off where the initial jump gets called.
Yeah. By the way, that is such an epic scene when he looks out the plane and he looks down at the ships,
That's what,
and then it
that's-
pans
yeah,
out
I'm
and it
saying.
shows all the planes and all the ships heading.
That's the way. Yeah, we were
Like-
talking about there. There's so like I said, I don't remember much about this from like when I was a kid when it aired, but like there's certain iconic scenes that I remember from the trailers and stuff, and it's like yeah, there's a lot of that shot and a lot of what we're gonna see in episode 2. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I remember. Yeah, because it was just like I said, it was just so cool to see at the time. It's even cool to see it while rewatching it.
Well, while we're talking about that, let me ask you this question: what do you think you would go through, or how do you think you would feel, or what do you think the feeling would be knowing we're loading up into these planes, we're gonna jump out in behind enemy lines and go to war? Like, what do you think the feelings would be for you knowing that's what you're getting ready to do? Blank, is that what you said?
Yeah, just blank.
I think you'd have to try not to think about it.
That's what like even like fuck, I don't want to get into it and everything because I feel like we'll be getting to episode 2 if I start talking
Yeah.
about it. Because once again, like the one of the old men interviews and everything, he touches on this beforehand even. So, like, but yeah, like short answer and everything. Yeah, I without going into it, it would just be blank. Cause yeah, I feel like you just have to try to calm yourself down. Like I said, everybody gets ready in their own way, like old boy said. So like I know personally it would be like, all right, like I said, you're going out that door. Like and and like I said, gravity's doing the rest. So then after that, it's just honestly, the first thing I thought of was like, fuck, because like the thing about it was the fucking parachute. I was like, how bad would it be to go through all that and to roll a fucking ankle and everything as soon as you land?
Yeah.
And then you're
yeah.
just done. Like what that? Like really? Like
Oh, you can't be done.
keep the boot on and
behind
everything.
Like,
Yeah,
you
it's-
just got to get up and deal with it. Like, it's
yeah.
if you're
like,
just done, you just die.
yeah, you're getting shot. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. You know you're getting shot. If you fuck up an ankle or a knee, and like if you just can't walk, like you're just a liability at that point.
Right.
Like, because so much of what they had to do was about, like you said, going behind enemy lines and then moving to points to clear out stuff so they could do the beach assault. So it was one of those things where, like, if you can't move fast, you're useless. The whole, even the training, the whole thing is like you're in such better shape than other people, so you can move farther, faster than others.
Right.
It was all like I said. I don't know if Solo he just wanted to be the best. But honestly, it worked out by design, because to where like I said, we'll get into episode 2. But
Now, for me personally, when you can fully trust the guys around you, you are so stress free, because you know they've been trained. I've been trained. We've all had the same training. We're all on the same page. We all know what we're gonna do. There's nothing better feeling than going over to Iraq and knowing that your boys have got your back like that.
well, the guys even talked about that in basic. Like they were talking about which officer would you want and everything next to them and all, or when they were on the boat, because they were talking
That's
about.
the original Quaker comment.
Yeah, because that was where Egg pulled. That was like, I don't know if he'd be good in combat and all. Like, so yeah, like that. So that was
Yeah, because it was like,
real
as long as the
conversation.
person next to you is a paratrooper, and he's like, what if that paratrooper's Sobel?
Yeah, that got in there, but yeah.
But that is a key point. When you have stress-free environment internally and around you, and you go in there, it is so nice.
Well, I said it'd have to be.
AJ, what do you think?
It's hard to really imagine.
It is.
I doubt my ability to even conceive of it, honestly. I don't know.
I think I can see parts of what everybody's saying.
Mhm.
You know, this has been in your mind for at this point months.
Mhm.
Like they said, they were with Sobel for 112 days, and then they spent at least a week or two training after that. So 120, 130 days they've been training for this jump. With that in your mind. So it's not like it got sprung on you and like you didn't know you were doing it and then you gotta go do it now.
Yeah.
Like this is what you've been training for
Well,
for
but you also volunteer. Like remember, these guys
Yes.
volunteered for it. It wasn't like you were just conscripted into it. It was like, yeah, it's like we need people to do it, and they're like, nobody fucking knew what it was. Like nobody raised their hand. And like, yeah, we were the guys that did it. Like so, it's like you knew you were going. These were all guys that wanted this.
But then
I think that's the thing we got to remember here. Everybody wanted this.
But then I could also see what Tom was saying is like blanking out and like just like, oh wow, like this is about to go down.
Mhm.
But then I could also see myself like obsessing over the details, like trying to learn going over the map in my head, going over the routes in my head. Where do we have to be?
But I
Like,
think that's where Ray comes in. Like if
Mhm.
you trust your team,
Mhm.
that stress is gone. So then you can be more like blank and reactive and just
Yeah.
rely on training. Because then at that point, like you said, if you know, like if I know old boy can read the map and I'm not going to get dropped and click away, and if I know like old boy at the radio and everybody's proficient, like you all aren't going to freeze up and all that,
Exactly.
like I said, at that point, like it makes that type of stress go down so much because you know that everyone around you is competent. Because I think that's what like a lot of it is,
okay,
or at least for me, that's what it would be. Like I wouldn't have. Well, once again, I would just allocate resources. I don't have to be good at math. I have to keep the guy that's good at math alive.
Yeah.
It's like we can't let him die, otherwise I will have us a click off. Like,
Right.
it's
And then
like-
and then
yeah, and I don't
if-
know French.
and if I don't know how to call for the airstrike or the 9 line to come pick up my guys, well, I got to keep the guy with the radio that knows how to fucking do that.
Yeah, like it's kind of one
Yeah.
of those like I said, like just know what's valuable and allocate resources. Like
so here's my next question. There's a scene in this episode where a bunch of privates are literally openly talking about killing Sobel when they get to France.
yeah,
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it might be warranted, but it's kind of crossing the line.
Oh, totally crossing the line for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I mean, as much as you dislike Sobel in this episode, you don't want friendly fire
Yeah.
shooting him in the back or something. Like that's
I didn't take it seriously. I took it more as just like almost like just fuck this guy talk.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
To where it's
for
like,
real.
hey, like, wouldn't it be something if, like, I catch a stray bullet in friendly fire and all that? It's like, yeah, like you said, maybe it was a joke in poor taste, but like I said, they hated the motherfucker and all that at the time, and like I didn't take it as something that they were plotting,
Yeah.
and all. I took it as like these guys are just tired of his shit.
well.
And
They also made it very clear to us that Sergeant Martin heard them talking about it, but then they never did any more with it. Like they never showed like Martin like telling
No.
Winters or telling
But
Sobel
I
or
think
telling
that was-
Sink.
I think that was just to show that the officers knew. So when they did all mutiny, it was like they had everybody behind them.
Yeah.
It was like no, like I said, it's like it's not. It goes beyond even the officers. Like the men are even going to be behind this if you did anything to the officers. Like there was no way to actually punish anybody in this dynamic other than just reassignments, because once again, everybody is. You're breaking records. You're making everybody look good, including the guy that now has to deal with this shit. So it was one of those things like, how do I quote unquote punish you motherfuckers and all that, or get rid of this guy without making myself and everybody else look bad when you all are doing so good? Like it was, yeah, it was a hell of a little dynamic.
And plus, if you're observing the troops like that and you don't want Sorbo to know, then you can't really punish anybody. You have to keep that internally, and then you
Yeah.
keep collecting the data, and it's like
Yep.
there's the plan there, and work from that.
Okay. Next question is, what did you guys think of Garnier finding out his brother died? Moments like essentially like the night before they jumped.
Oh, you're talking about the jacket switch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I think they should have told him, to be honest, in person.
I thought so too.
Like I thought it was the bad call to try to keep it from him. I get how you could probably think that was the right thing to do, just for like the sake of like the company and trying to keep people safe, because you may not want him to like kind of, you don't know how he's going to react.
Well,
Especially going into battle with a gun. To where
I don't want to look. I don't want to look forward because we haven't been doing that. But episode 2 may prove us wrong. Episode 2 may prove the fact that hiding it from him might have been the best call.
I still don't think so. Like even like I said, we'll see what we see, but I still don't think so, because like I liked his response. Or like his response was even as like he's like, feel sorry for my mom, like because it's like he knows now, like that was his way of saying, it's like shit. It's like she could probably lose 2 sons now because I'm jumping.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about it, is like, because at least if he would have jumped knowing his brother there, like he would have died probably like probably still thinking that same sense, because he talks up family so much and all that. Like he probably still would have been like, well, my brother's still alive, at least like mom really still has a son type thing, to where like now it's on him to where like, fuck, I have to deal with his death, and like, but his first reaction was to think of her. So like, I think that says a lot about his character.
I took that more of him just trying not to deal with it. Like, I feel bad for my mom.
Yeah, because he was clearly upset when he read the letter. Like
Yeah.
he got upset and
But
was like,
what a shitty way to find out.
"Oh, I
By
mean, it
act-
totally
like I
is."
said,
Yeah.
like, because I would like by accident, like I said, at least have the nerve, like come and like have the conversation, rather than like you said, accidentally finding it in a jacket. And now you got to return the guy's jacket to him, and be like did you read the letter? Be like, yeah, like
Part of what we thought, what a shitty way to what a shitty thing to do to your husband. Put him in that position. Why did you write that in? Why are you writing that family members of his fellow sergeants are dying, and putting that in a letter to him? Like, because when would Garnier found out if he had to wait on the army?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. It's an open-ended question, but like, maybe he wouldn't have until he went home. I don't know. I don't know. I know they would tell the families back home, but do they send people to tell the soldiers while they're fighting? Like, hey, your brother died in Africa or Italy or wherever. Yeah, Africa. They said he was in Africa.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that telegraph kind of thing goes.
not every time I see old war movies, it's always a letter from a civilian. So yeah, who knows? Like I said, maybe it just doesn't come down like that.
Right. And I mean, I watched a lot of them World War II. Even funny as Hogan's Heroes. They always be getting mail.
Mm-hmm.
No. So
Well, I'm not mad that he got mail. I'm just saying, like, why did I don't know. I just felt it was a weird. She put him in the position. Maybe it wasn't her fault, but like, I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because I agree with Lipton when he asked Lipton for advice, and Lipton's like, I'd tell him. That my original thought was that too. I'd tell him too. Like, what's the point of like having to carry it around with you? Like you know already, but I don't know. I guess I can see both sides of it in reality.
I wouldn't want it on my head either. Like,
Yeah.
like I said,
I would tell him.
that's one of those things that I want. Like I said, I want to try to be on that plane with a clear conscience and all that. I don't want to have that stress. It's not even mine. Like, it wasn't my brother, so it's like, hey, I gotta tell you because it is eating me up inside. Like, Just
Yeah.
being honest.
Well,
Like,
and that's not for me to decide. You should or shouldn't know about this personal information.
yeah.
for you.
Once again,
Like,
it's
that's-
not my family, no blood.
Yeah.
It's like I just serendipitously like stumbled upon this information.
Mhm.
Like, it's like, the fuck do I do with it? Like,
Yep.
All right. Well, now we're just down to my interesting deeds here.
Okay.
When this was made, it was the most expensive television show ever made.
yeah, you had fucking
Okay.
Steven Spielberg.
It was $150 million budget, which
Wow.
has now been passed by multiple shows. Walking Dead has passed it. Game of Thrones has passed it.
Oh, definitely.
And is the leader now. But I want to point this out. Game of Thrones has 8 seasons.
Mhm.
This show has 10 episodes.
yeah.
So we're almost talking about two different things here.
Right. Yeah.
But yes, it was the most expensive television show ever made at the time. I'm going to ask this before I say the answer. How many speaking parts do you think there are in these 10 episodes?
I mean, like total lines of dialogue.
No. How many different actors speak in these episodes?
I'd probably say 35.
Oh, you mean in the whole series?
The whole series.
Oh, the whole
series.
series.
Oh,
Oh. Probably say, I'll say 50, 55. I'll say 55.
Couple hundred. Like any lines at all?
Yep.
That's what. Yeah, because we're even counting like side characters, like just,
Anybody that speaks, not just people that walk by in the
oh,
background,
yeah. So like,
but
even just
speak.
Okay. So like, yeah, even townspeople if they said shit.
Mhm.
All right. 64.
500.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
There are 500 speaking roles
all right.
in Band of Brothers, which is nuts.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of city talk coming up. A lot of townsfolk speak.
There's some town folks. There's, constantly like, people like at
Bunch
one
of-
point
Bunch of French and German.
Jimmy Fallon drives up
Oh.
and like delivers a message and then like drives away
Yeah.
again. Like,
I forgot he was in.
there's like just stuff going on constantly.
Okay.
The series premiere for Band of Brothers was on 9/9 of 2001. Any significance for you guys there? It's two days before 9/11.
Yeah.
So this gets very interesting. I told AJ this already.
Mhm.
This gets very interesting. So 2 days before 9/11, the first episode aired on HBO.
Okay.
Then 2 days later, 9/11 happens, and HBO calls Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, and says, "We can't air your show."
Mm.
And so they're like, "Okay." Well, I listened to this whole interview with Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks is like, it got really dark because we started having conversations of the show will never air. Like, we're just going to get rid of it and it'll never see the light of day. Which is, to me, is asinine.
Yeah.
But essentially they were saying that, like, we're on the verge of World War III. We can't be airing TV about World War II. Like, we're a dinosaur. And there's more pressing matters going on, so we might just scrap this. By the way, I can't imagine scrapping the most expensive television show of all time and never making any money.
I get what they're saying, but you could have saved it for later, like they did.
They did, and they waited months before they aired episode 2. I don't remember this. I didn't watch it when it originally aired. I
No.
watched it later on.
So,
But I just thought that was interesting that this Band of Brothers almost didn't become a thing.
yeah, I could see that kind of thinking if you were about to start production.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? But
Yeah.
not after it's already done. And like,
Yeah, you already spent the
aired.
money. If it's already shot in there, then you're just
Yeah,
you're just being a weird turd
Think
about
about
it. Like, if anything, let's gas people up for war. Then, if we're really gonna do this for World War III, be like,
Yeah.
hey, get ready.
Yeah.
Watch some World War II footage and get ready to go shoot some people.
That's right.
Get
Yeah.
amped up about killing Nazis, and now go do it over there. Like, just like, yeah, like
Yeah,
I that's
the last war that
Yeah.
started because we were actually attacked.
yeah.
You know, like,
I was gonna say, yeah. If anything,
Exactly.
like,
That's
hey,
a good
like,
point. Yeah.
you know,
Like, yeah, I would have used it to gas up the people. Like,
absolutely.
So, two things here. How it took them 3 years to make these 10 episodes. It took them a year of shooting. They kept these dudes on set for a year.
Okay.
Well, I mean that's pretty normal, 8 to 12 months. Yeah.
And
You all got paid.
Yeah.
I don't know what they got paid. I've not
Uh,
come across that as of yet.
Either way, like there's worse ways to make money. I don't give a damn. Like it's like,
But
you're shooting a movie. It's not manual labor. Like
but here's the other thing. All the actors that played soldiers were sent to boot camp.
good.
Yeah.
So they went to boot camp, and this is so interesting. Actually, AJ and I have talked about this too. They played games with these fuckers to try and cause things. Like they put them in barracks and made them out in the elements, no air conditioning, like all these things out in the heat and all these things. David Schwimmer got an air conditioned solo place to live, like living quarters. He got his food. He get nice food brought to him. What they all had to eat.
Friends.
No, what they were doing it on purpose to cause them to dislike him.
Oh, okay.
They were playing fucked up games with the
Oh.
actors at boot camp,
That's just you're forcing method acting upon them.
and they
That's
would
awesome.
yes, exactly. So then they would constantly show up to set and pull the guy that plays Nixon off set. They would constantly just, hey Nixon, we need you to come do a video shoot, or hey Nixon, we need you to come do this, and like constantly pull him off because they wanted to be like, oh, he has to go to a briefing. And like, so he's gonna miss running up Currahee today because he's gotta go do this.
Like I said, just make it like aloof. Like I said, not one of the guys, but like still one of the guys.
But Winters had to live with them and do everything with them.
No, I like it.
No, I like it too. I'm not complaining about it. I'm thinking like this was like evil genius type shit, man. Like they're messing with psyches trying to do this.
I think this is where the acting of Tom Hanks and directing of Spielberg come in on that.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's a guy that like gets paid shitloads of money to do this for war movies because I guess Spielberg and Hanks used him for Saving Private Ryan as well, the same guy, which they made like 2 years previous to this.
This was old hat for Tom.
So, but yeah, all these guys had to pass PT tests. Like they had to be in really good shape to make this movie. Like they weren't fucking around with these guys.
Good.
Like a lot of these guys talk about how like I've never been in better shape in my life than when I was on the show.
And what's bad is you couldn't do that today because most Americans can't pass basic tests.
No, they can't.
So it would be hard to find extras in a movie because you're all too fat and out of shape.
Or you'll be like, oh, I just don't feel the motivation.
Well, you have cards now, I guess.
Oh yeah, Army with the yellow cards and stuff. Yeah, that's so crazy.
You imagine pulling one of those on Schwimmer then, just I believe I did have water.
I'm stressed.
Oh, that'd really piss him off.
Hey, by the way, the other officer is Welsh.
Welsh.
Yes. Anyway, I don't have anything else. So does anybody else before we move on?
I mean, not really. I was just gonna go the similarities that from me into the Army stuff.
You can talk about it if you want.
Okay.
That's up to you,
man. For me. It started with basic in San Diego, and then we go to School of Infantry, and then we go to our MOS school, which for me was radio operator. For them, it was just like, I guess since they volunteered, and it was like they joined.
It was all new. Yeah.
Preemptive kind of thing. It was all kind of like jam packed into one kind of thing. So I mean, so for them it was all crammed. For me, it was just kind of spread out a little bit. But it's all kind of the basic kind of procedure. Mm-hmm. And then let's see. I'm
sure it changes a little bit when we're actively in a war.
Yeah.
You know, it may be a little bit different. Like when we're short on soldiers and we're trying, like you said, we were attacked. You know, I mean, like I'm sure things may change. I don't know.
And then after MOS, we go to the Field Marine Corps, or the Fleet Marine Force is your basic unit. So we go there, and from there we get where we're gonna go next, whatever. But you have time with the unit, kind of like they did. But it was so interesting to see how when you're kind of at war, like I mean, I went to Iraq, but it was kind of like slowing down by the time we went to the way they were, or how fast we went from A to fucking Z. from comparing it to where it was A to Z with me.
Because we're leading up to D-Day for them.
Yeah.
So it's like we're leading up to like, hey, we are here now. Yeah. So I
Right.
get what you mean there.
And then I guess the training to go to Iraq, it was kind of because I worked at a prison, so I guarded prisoners while I was over there. So our training was kind of weird because they were trying to figure out how to approach that without actually having a prison to go to. And for them, it was like just pretty much straightforward, jump out the fucking plane, you know? So, I mean, there's a lot of cool similarities that I picked up on, kind of I can relate to. And it's, I don't know, I thought it was kind of neat. That's why I kind of shared a little bit.
Well, thanks, Ray.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that will wrap up our first segment here and lead us into a second segment, which is going to be new to the listeners because we've never done a second segment like this before. We scrapped the rankings for this because rankings didn't really work for Band of Brothers, and we're going to go into a second segment we think will be enjoyable, but you can let us know. We're going to keep track of 25 characters. Now, you can bicker with me on which 25 characters I picked because I did pick these 25. For the most part, they're going to be, obviously Winters and Nixon and guys like that are on screen all the time are going to be on there. But towards the end of the 25, you may bicker with me about some of the screen time. This guy was on there more than this guy, but kiss my ass. I don't care.
Yeah.
We're keeping track of this 25, and that's what we'll go with it. So, Ray, you want to kick us off with our...
Yeah, let's go ahead and pop it back on.
Yeah, who's our first guy?
Well, we got Winters.
Yes, Winters, like we said in the episode, a very main character in this episode. We've talked a lot about him, so I don't know that we need to talk a ton about him right here, but...
let's see. Next up, we got Nixon.
Nixon, again, a very prominent character in this episode. He was there pretty much throughout everything.
Okay. And then next up, we got Sobel, which we talked quite a bit about as well.
Sobel, I think we talked a lot about. I think the interesting thing with Sobel now is how much will we see him going forward.
Right.
Because we watched him driving away
Yeah.
at the end of the first episode.
Okay. And then next up, we got Randleman.
Randleman is around through this whole episode. He even has a couple speaking parts. I think was it AJ that brought it up earlier where he was like, or was it Tom that was like, why? I think he hates me or hates us, and he's like, no, he hates you, Randleman. That was him. Of course, Sobel screams at him at one point that he can go down and get in the ambulance to the bottom of the mountain. No more Captain Sobel, no more Currahee. So
He also gets promoted, I guess, off screen because at the "I hate" or "he just hates you" comment, he's Private Randleman.
Yes.
But he's part of the Sergeant Mutiny when that happens too. So
yeah, because he's the guy that says, "I will not follow that man into combat" or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. And if he looks familiar to anybody out there watching and listening, he's also on The Walking Dead, season 8.
Yes, he is.
Okay. So next up, we got Roe.
Doc Rowe appears in a non-speaking role in this episode.
the first shot.
Yes.
It's his face.
Yes, but he does not speak. He will speak later, but he does not speak in this episode. But you see him, but he is the medic for Easy Company.
Okay. And then before I go back to the next one, it was Major Winters, Captain Nixon, Captain Sobel, Staff Sergeant Randleman, Technician 4th grade Rowe, and then the next one we have up is Staff Sergeant Powers.
Oh, Shifty Powers. Did we? Oh, I have it written down over here. Hold on. Yeah, we saw Shifty in this episode.
Okay.
But again, we're gonna get into a bunch of guys here that we saw but didn't really talk.
I'm gonna take a piss.
Okay. And then next up we got Second Lieutenant Lipton.
Wow, Lipton is actually a fairly main character in this episode. I mean, fairly prominent character in this episode.
Throughout most of the series. So.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's also one of the sergeants that does the mutiny.
Mm-hmm.
He He has quite a bit of speaking parts. He's one of the ones that gets them in trouble at the very first scene at Currahee when he what does he have? Oh, he has
Got
the
like a
the
thread
threads on
yeah.
his patches.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. And then we have Technical Sergeant Malarkey.
Yes, Malarkey will play a large role in most of these episodes. He's not really a large role in this, but he's around the whole time. You see him constantly throughout all of this, and he does speak a couple times, but it's nothing like super important.
And then we have Sergeant Wynn.
Popeye.
Oh yeah, Popeye.
Yes. Again, he has a non-speaking role, but Sobel speaks to him at the top of Currahee. I never thought I'd see the day, Private Wynn. Yes, I've watched the episode a few times.
All right. Next up, we have Private First Class Webster.
He does not appear in this episode.
Okay. So that we have Sergeant Sisk.
Sisk. What's the rest? What's his rest of his name?
That's Skinny.
Oh, it's Skinny. Okay, yeah. I have their nicknames written on my paper over here, not their necessarily their full names. So,
Okay.
Skinny does not appear in this episode either.
Okay. Staff Sergeant Alley. And his nickname is Mac, I think. Or Mo.
Mo.
Excuse me,
Okay, Mo does not appear in this episode either.
Okay. Then we go to Corporal Gordon, who is Smokey.
Yes. Oh, Smokey. Which, by the way, they call him Smokey because he didn't smoke. He would go into like fits of rage if he didn't have a dip in. So they started calling him Smokey for some reason. But yeah, Smokey has a non-speaking role in this episode.
Okay, then we have Private Ray Cobb.
Cobb is one of the main ones that is talking about killing Sobel when the privates are sitting around talking about it. He starts the conversation where he's the one that says, well, he's going to get it one way or the other. Either the crowds will get him or one of us will. He's the one that says that.
Gotcha. Let's see. Second Lieutenant Compton.
Oh, Buck Compton. Buck Compton comes in at the very end of the episode. You see him at the first scene of it because, we go back in time. But he's the one that comes in and is playing craps with the guys, and Winters is chewing them out for it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Buck Compton comes in at the very end of this episode.
Okay, and then I'm not sure how to pronounce the next one, but Staff Sergeant Toy.
Yeah, Toy.
Okay.
Yep, Toy talks a decent amount in this episode. He's the one that's laying in his cot saying, I'm going to give Hitler one of these across his windpipe, and they're going to call today Joe Toy Day, and I'm going to make $10,000 the rest of my life. Yep, that's Joe Toy.
Let's see. Next is Sergeant Muck, a.k.a. Skip, I think.
Yeah, Muck is another very prominent character throughout the rest of this. He has some speaking roles. He's the one that rolls his ankle running up Currahee at that one point, and Sobel tells the rest of the soldiers they're not allowed to help him.
Yeah. Technical fourth grade, Frank Percante.
Picante talks a decent amount. He's the one that, he's sitting there with his jacket on. I ain't going up that mountain again. I ain't going up it. But then when they start yelling at him, he takes his jacket off and goes outside. He also is talking about how, as Garnier, as a fellow Italian, you can't call this spaghetti.
All right. Staff Sergeant Garnies or Gonorrhea.
Yeah, Garnier, who they don't really call Garnier yet. That'll happen later. But Garnier obviously is in the sergeants that mutiny as well. He has some speaking lines. He's the one that calls Winters a Quaker and calls Sobel a Jew, which gets him in a fight with one of the other characters I think we talk about in a few minutes.
Okay. Let's see. Lieutenant Colonel Spears.
Spears does not appear in this episode, but Spears is a doozy, so we will talk much about him later.
Okay. Technical or technician fifth grade, Libgot.
Liebgott.
Liebgott.
Yes, Liebgott. Liebgott is the one that gets in the fight with Garnier over calling Sobel a Jew. So he appears in this episode and has a few speaking parts, but nothing too big.
Okay. Private First Class, Pincala.
I believe Pincala appears. Yeah, he's the one that is, hey, buddy, can I see your Luger?
Yeah.
That's Pincala.
Oh, okay.
Like a running thing for a lot of the series. Yeah.
Well, a lot of them want it, but he's not the one that is a complete idiot about it. He just wants to see one in this episode.
And then technician, 4th grade, George Luz.
Luz.
Okay.
Yeah. Luz appears in this episode. Luz is the one that does the voice thing to get to get Sobel to cut the fence.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Staff Sergeant Martin.
Martin plays a decent role in this. He's the one that gets the news that Garnier's brother is dead and can't decide whether to tell him or not. He's the one that overhears. It's either him or Lipton that overhears the guys talking about killing Sobel. I can't remember which. But yeah, Martin's around through most of this. He's doing pretty much everything.
And the first time I seen that guy, because I'm a big Hogan's Heroes fan, he reminds me of LeBeau, the French dude. The actor just kind of resembles him so much. And then the last one we got is Technical Sergeant Christensen.
Christensen appears. He doesn't speak a lot, but he's the one that has drank from his canteen.
Right.
Okay.
So yes, he is in this episode and apparently walked 24 miles one night. So that is our 25 guys that we have decided to look at in these episodes. Obviously, we'll have more to say about them the longer this goes on. Some of them will obviously stop appearing for one reason or another, but mainly because of death. And obviously, we'll stop talking about them at that point. But we just thought it'd be interesting to keep track of these guys and give updates on them. And it'll probably be more lively conversation about some of them going forward. But this episode had a lot of guys missing. It had, just basic training. A lot of them don't speak. Some of them just barely speak. So, yeah. Any thoughts from the rest of you guys?
No. They're pretty well.
All right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in for this episode 1 of Band of Brothers, Currahee. And we would appreciate you tuning in next week for the second episode of Band of Brothers, which I can't remember the name of.
It is.
What did you say?
Day of Days.
Day of Days. Thank
Yep.
you, AJ. Day of Days. And thanks for tuning in to Blockbuster Bums.